Welcome to Kidney Talk, a program of Renal Support Network, a show that streams health, happiness, and hope to the kidney community. You can download all Kidney Talk shows from iTunes and find a variety of resources to help you navigate this illness at rsnhope.org. Please welcome your host, Lori Hartwell, who has lived with kidney disease since the age of 2.
Well, welcome to Kidney Talk, everyone. I'm excited today. We're going to be speaking to a special individual. I got to know him many years ago when I was in Washington, D.C., and learned that he was on dialysis, and he wanted to come to the prom. He wanted to meet people with kidney disease, and he subsequently came out to L.A. to the Renal Teen Prom, and I have just been amazed what Austin Lee has done with his life since I first met him. So welcome to the show, Austin.
Thank you for having me.
So Austin, tell us a little bit about your journey with kidney disease.
Oh, yeah, my journey with kidney disease started well before I was even born into this world. My mom, before she had given birth to me, she had like an instinct that something just wasn't right. And so they did the natural ultrasound that they did where they had found, like a huge mass around my abdomen as an infant on the inside of my mom. And in order to remove like the fluid from that mass, they had to do, major procedures to my mom to drain, to go into her, to go into me, to drain off fluid. Those who don't know, that is known as what I was born with was posterior urethral valves. And what that was a bladder obstruction that caused my native kidneys, so the kidneys that you are naturally born with, mine were non-functioning at birth because of the bladder obstruction. And actually, before I was even born, certain doctors, certain physicians didn't give much hope to my mom, my family, on me being born because they didn't think, I would live very long. They thought I would be diagnosed with failure to thrive. I would have some type of, serious disabilities. But I mean, I'm here today after, celebrating. I've had over 28 years of transplantation since I was young. So my journey with kidney disease has began since I was basically an infant. I received my first kidney transplant at the age of 4 years old in July of 1993. And my living kidney donor was my mom. And I want to say before I received that first kidney in 1993, I did have to undergo peritoneal dialysis. So I was on peritoneal dialysis from a year and a half to 4 years old.
And then, so you how long did your, what an amazing gift that your mother gave you. How long did your first kidney work?
Oh, yes. So my first kidney gave me the gift of life for 14 years.
Wow. I mean, it's never long enough, is it?
I tell you, but yeah, it gave me the kick that I needed. It gave me the life that I needed to live for the amount of time that I needed, and to make the impact with it that I needed. So, and there's a reason for everything, why things happen, I say.
Well, you've always had a wonderful attitude, and I remember you flying out here for the prom. And I think that you were on dialysis at the time, right? It was you and your mom came out from Washington, D.C.
Yes, we did. And I want to say 2008. It's either 2008 or 2009. But I remember because, while I was in the process of getting my kidney failure diagnosis, was the process of senior dues. There were senior parties, and there was my high school prom going on, which I actually didn't have the opportunity to attend back in 2007. I'd actually missed my senior prom because I was beginning the process of transitioning from hemodialysis to peritoneal dialysis, which was a very challenging time.
So how long were you on dialysis and you got your second transplant, and how long has that been?
Yeah, so I was on dialysis for 3.5 years, and I received my second kidney June 8th, 2010, from a living donor. Her name is Miss Stella Christian. And so amazingly, it's been 14 years.
And what's your creatinine?
Oh, yeah. So my creatinine right now is 1.3. My creatinine is 1.3. It's been between 1.3, 1.5. That's been like my baseline for like a decade or so.
That's it's incredible because I know that you're somebody who always is diligent about taking care of yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with this second transplant, especially with this, because I'm more compliant and I feel like I'm more in control. I understand how to, use my opinion, use my patient choice, and asking questions and just knowing how to, I'm more mature this
Well, you know
go
what?
around.
You advocate for yourself, and
Yes,
people always say advocate for yourself, but you have to have some basis of knowledge to be able to do that.
yes,
And
absolutely.
I know that you attend our conferences, you're engaged, and that makes you a better advocate because you know what's going on.
Yes,
I wanted to talk a little bit about because when I saw you last, you were talking about going into child life specialty. What
yes.
what career choice did you take, and how do you think your health influenced you with that choice?
Oh yeah, so my health influenced me with that choice, and not just my health, but like the professionals that were around me, whether that been like doctors, nephrologists, my own child life specialist. But I feel like in specific, me having such a great fear of IVs and needles. I mean, like I don't get me wrong. There are children who have like that normal fear of those things. But I tell you, me, it was all the way down to the smell of like an alcohol pad. As soon as that came out, that just triggered me because I knew I would be getting stuck or an IV. And even to this day, as an adult, I have that same experience. Like if someone is very close to me and they're putting on hand sanitizer and it has a lot of alcohol in it or alcohol pad, it's the same exact thing. But I've had child life specialists that have helped me kind of overcome those
Mm-hmm.
fears when I was in the hospital by using different hands-on, age-appropriate activities. Whether that been putting bandages on a dinosaur or putting a fake IV on a doll or just putting all the materials out and explaining them to me each one by one and now and to this day as an adult just realizing the importance of having your lab work done. And so and now I look past of just like the hurt of the needle. Like I look past that, but then I look more so as that, okay, I need to understand like what my levels tell me because that lets me know how well I'm taking care of myself. If my kidney is in danger of anything and those things, etc.
Austin, I'm really curious about what kind of techniques they use to help you get over the fear of needles. I mean, that is such a huge problem. I mean, I'm not fearful of them, but the older you get, you could become more fearful of IVs because they're harder to get in you, and
Yeah.
it's scary because I mean, I've been stuck 20 times.
Yes, I understand.
You feel like a pincushion, and you become fearful of not the needle but the process. I mean, I could
Yes.
take one needle, okay? One needle's fine, but no more than one needle. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to psych yourself
Exactly.
out.
Yeah, I feel like I hit the lottery when they get it the first time. I'm like, I asked the person, I asked the phlebotomist, I say, "Oh wow, what's your name and what schedule do you work? Because I need to have you." And there's been times where like that the phlebotomist will get it on the first time, and then next time I'll come back in like 4 or 5 months, and it's like I wasn't, they couldn't get it that time. But I would say like just making sure you stay hydrated, like drinking plenty of water before you have your labs drawn has helped me. Eating a good little small portion meal for breakfast kind of helps that too, because I know a lot of times in the past I used to struggle with dehydration, and that was a big reason why they couldn't get needles in me. And yeah.
Well, it's so hard. You're on dialysis and you're told not to eat or drink or
Right.
limit, and then you get transplant. And you're like drink, and
Yeah.
it's I know for me it can be challenging because when you're on dialysis, you start to learn to just accept thirst,
Yeah.
and you accept it, and it's just a normal feeling. And people who have never dealt with that, they don't experience that because they drink when they're thirsty. But we have to
Right.
think differently, and it does impact our how we take in fluid, and so we have to make
Yeah.
a more conscious effort of it. And so I know your mom is a big part of your life and support, and what I would like to know is you have always had a positive attitude. Every time I've met you, you've always looked. So what do you think that comes from? How do you work to keep your emotions intact? Because I think that a lot of younger people with kidney disease, and I've witnessed this, and I'm sure you have too, they struggle with their emotions. And what tools could you suggest to people who are coping with the illness?
Tools to use of coping with the illness is to let them know that you have to take each day one day at a time, and you need to prioritize and just telling yourself great things, because you as an individual, deep down great things about yourself. And so, and also to elaborate on that, like it can be from just waking up, making your bed, waking up, brushing your teeth. All of those little things are successful, and to also making you feel confident. And you just have to build off of little things throughout the day, and you have to tell yourself, you have to use kind words with yourself, because along in your journey and when you're on dialysis and when you're with a chronic illness, you're dealing with it every day. And although I've had a transplant and my transplant has been successful, there are things that if I don't do or if I don't talk positive to myself, I could go right back to where I was before. So I would just definitely encourage young children, young people, everyone who has received the gift of life or who has a chronic illness, to just use words of affirmation with yourself, as much as you can, especially now, because in today's world, because you have so many outlets and so many things that try to tell you about how your life should look. And if you're feeling like this is the right way, or only you in the room or in that chair or in that hospital bed or in that clinic visit understand how you truly feel.
It's crazy because I have this like committee in my head, you know what I mean? Like they just go gangbusters and they will beat me up unless I figure out how to shut them up. And there's a few ways that I've learned how to shut them up. One of them is being busy and helping other people.
Yes.
When I'm helping other people and I'm engaging in positive activities, that committee doesn't work so well. And they quiet. But that committee rears its head, doesn't it? I mean, every once in a while, it just, one of the things I struggle with, I don't know if you have, but the guilt of having an illness and sometimes the burden that you put on other people.
Yeah.
And sometimes that committee member will just go rampant. Like you're a burden, you need help, you need this, you need that. And then, and then the other committee member is telling it to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? But this committee that we have in our head, I think, do you have a committee or am I going to be diagnosed with another illness?
No, you know what? I can absolutely relate. And sometimes that committee in our head, because I still deal with that. And that could just come from ego and medications and how those things interact. And that's why I always, encourage, mentees and other people who are dealing with a chronic illness, to seek out, talking and speaking with, like their social worker, and children with their child life specialist. And also, like, when I was, actually when I was little, I used to just draw, drawing my feelings. And actually now, like, I get, like you said, joy out of being able to help people, because I know when I was at your latest prom this past January, and just being able to be on the Zoom call and speaking with those teenagers, that just brought like relief to my life. If I was dealing with anything back at home, I know I was able to impact people that was on that call that had a chronic illness. So I definitely do relate. I still at times deal with like having a committee in your head. Well, there you go. You have another committee in your head that's a side that could talk back to that committee.
Exactly. You have a, it's so true. I mean, I've learned, and I bet you have some tips too. When I'm feeling depressed or down, there's a couple things I know I can't do. And that is, one is turn on the news.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. No, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is to go on Facebook and look at everybody's life.
Yeah.
That will not make me happy when I'm not feeling well. When I'm sitting in the hospital and I'm seeing everybody, oh, I'm at Disneyland today or whatever, that's not what I need to see at the moment.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, like you said, drawing, creativity, animals are a big comfort to me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, and I know you agree with this, is finding somebody who understands what you're going through. That one friend makes a difference. Yeah. That has the illness, because, you could go to your friends and family. They're very loving and caring, but having another peer that understands what you're going through is, in my opinion, has been better than some of the therapy sessions I've had, is to talk to somebody who's been there and they just say, you know what, Lori, it sucks. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And that validation, right? But it's part of the human experience to feel emotions. And they're not very fun at times, are they? I mean... No,
they're not, because, we have emotions, but sometimes ours is... It's like, okay, so like a person with, like me, who's had an individual with kidney disease, it's almost like our emotions are added with the extra battery pack, And
well, you add steroids and they are.
Yeah.
You add steroids and there is a battery pack with them, because steroids make you more emotional, period.
Yeah.
I mean.
Absolutely.
Well, and I don't know when I really understood the Kubler-Ross stages of shock, denial, fear, anger, depression, and then finally understanding acceptance. I didn't learn that till like I was 19. That I was like, these are actual normal stages. Yeah. Because when I don't know about you, but I've been angry at times, so incredibly angry, that it was debilitating. Yeah. And, my cure for anger is action. You got to get up and do something. Yeah. That's your signal to change. Yeah. That's your signal. You have to figure out how to change something. Yeah. But I didn't know those coping skills, and that's why a child life specialist, and there's so many things that are at our disposal to help us look at things in a different way. And when you can look at things in a different way, it can change your life.
It definitely can. And because when I was waiting for a kidney transplant, I just remember there were times where I kind of like gave up hope, because, having to be able to sit by that phone and wait for your turn, and you know what I mean by like your turn for your call to come through, it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression through all of that. But on the flip side, me being able to go and look at YouTube videos of people going on vacations after receiving their transplant, like that encouraged me. That encouraged me a whole lot. And then also you said some key things about, being angry, because as I've gotten older, there are so many more things that I have learned that I'm like, wow, if I would have knew this, maybe it could have protected my first native kidney, because I'm like, that was my mom's kidney that she gave to me. And
Right.
yes, I'm very fortunate, with the second kidney. But I'm just like, wow, if I would have knew certain things in my medications and, being able to switch or going back and be able to get a certain lab test, like I could have, but that's in the past. I can't change that, but I can possibly affect change for the future of someone who may go through that, to be able to help them.
What makes you so great is you do continue to advocate for your peers so that they know what options are there, telling their story, getting them engaged. You are very cool, by the way. So you have
Thank
a
you.
cool factor going on that you might be able to, some people relate to you a little bit better, and they might say, hey, I want to get to know Austin because I like what he has. And you are a young man who's accomplished many things and you've always had a great attitude. That's what I love about you.
Thank
You've
you.
always had a great attitude, and
I appreciate
I'll
it.
just never forget you showing up at the prom with those incredible cool sunglasses.
I love that. That is so funny to me. But yeah, I mean that's my life. I love to smile. Because you gotta take it one day at a time, and you gotta live in the moment at times, and you have to be able to encourage people, because like what good am I if I can't help other people, if I can't help myself, like I gotta be able to spread that
Right.
to other people. And my thing was, there's a lot of in advocacy sometimes, and you've probably seen or maybe have experience, but sometimes it could be very difficult, or a lot of politics involved and things like that. My thing is that being able to have the gift of life, and what I want to do is continue to encourage people who overcome or who come out better with their chronic illness, or they get that organ transplant, is yes, you are be able to advocate for others, but I don't want them to feel like they have to, but I want them to be able to experience now life, that freedom, that gift, that they have. It's okay. You don't have to be the biggest advocate for everything, for every organization. If you talk to one stranger on the street, you talk to one stranger on the bus, on the train, in the store, you're advocating there, and you're making a greater difference than you ever know. I just know that for myself, I've been fortunate. I've been very fortunate, with my story, and to be able to impact with different organizations around me. But I just want people to continue to thrive, continue to positively encourage others in their community, especially for our small children.
Well, and it is, one of the things I think you're really saying is that, get involved as you want, but the benefit is, you need to kind of find your tribe, and having a
Yeah.
group of people who have kidney disease around you, if they're just, somebody you met at clinic that you enjoyed and kept a friendship. I know that having one friend makes a difference with this illness. And
Right.
to have a friend, you need to be a friend. So we get a lot
Right.
of calls from patients saying, I need friends. And I'm like, just go in line and start talking to people, be a friend
Yeah.
and engage with people, talk to people. And then you're going to find people you relate to and you have something in common in. And then you can navigate this journey because it's challenging. This is a challenging illness, but it's doable. And, it's been amazing to see you grow up into an incredible young man who I know has a amazing impact on the community already. And I can't wait to see what you do in the future, Austin.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to it because I have, a lot ahead of me. And like I said, I take it one day at a time and try to stay consistent and still give back to my community that I love so much in the world, and to those voices who aren't heard every day, or who are discouraged to speak up for themselves, helping them as well.
Yes, no, that's so important because, a lot of people don't have the ability to speak up on the levels we do. And it takes time and practice. So, whatever level they're participating in, but I know you're a beacon of a bright light to many. So thank you so much for your story. And I'm so glad that you're accomplishing your goals. And I can't wait to see where you end up.
Well, thank you. And I'm proud of all the work that you continue to do, and the smiles that I see every time I visit California on those teenagers' faces and their families and all the staff and the people around them, and the lives that we are continuing to touch every day. So thank you.
Exactly. Well, I can't wait to see you next year.
All right.
Come on out and join us.
Yes, because I love that Southern California weather.
Definitely. Well, not right now. It's like 95. So,
wow.
But yes. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you online.
All right. Thank you, Lori. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to Kidney Talk, a program of Renal Support Network. Please make sure to find us on Facebook or sign up for our newsletter at rsnhope.org. Kidney Talk is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment from your physician. Always seek the advice of your own healthcare provider regarding your medical condition.